I bet you that every single person watching this video right now has at least one Lego minifigure laying around in their house, whether it's yours, your sister's, your brother's, your dad's. Everybody has access to a Lego minifigure. So what's stopping you from creating epic photos like these? And that's what I'm here to do today with these 5 points. So grab a snack, grab a drink, get cozy, and let's begin the video. So starting off with the very first point, probably the most obvious point, is Lego figures are probably one of the most portable props in the world. I mean, just look at the size of this guy. He's no smaller than a paperclip, really. You can fit it into your pocket, your camera bag, and even your wallet. They're literally so small that there's absolutely no harm in taking them onto your next shoot because they take up no space whatsoever, unless if you're taking a huge Lego set, which I've done a few times, and I'll usually resort to like a grocery bag, or in some rare instances, a literal cardboard box. And you might be worried that the set might break on site, or you might lose a few pieces. I'll admit I've lost a few pieces while doing these sort of shoots, but I've only ever broken a Lego set once, and that was from my own stupidity. And I stupidly put the car on top of my car and a little bit of wind, and I look over and I just see it rolling and it just falls face flat onto the ground, destroying into pieces. So yeah, the first point is pretty obvious. It's portable, it's easy to take with you, and it holds no space in your camera bag whatsoever. So if you've had a Lego figure lying around that you have had for years and years and years, just take it on your next shoot. You never know what kind of photos you could get. It's just a new way to spice up your own photography, and it gives you a chance to highlight unique landscapes, which leads me on to my next point. Lego photography allows you to highlight textures within landscapes. You see, every landscape has their own unique textures, and sure, you can take a really nice pristine photo of these really intricate textures, but they can just be a bit boring by themselves. But hey, do you remember that guy who told you on the internet to take your Lego figure to your next shoot? Well, there you go. Just plop your boys down and highlight the texture in now a unique and captivating way that tells more of a story with these textures. I am saying textures a lot. For me, one of the most enjoyable parts of Lego photography is also having the minifigures interact with these unique textures. Whether that's them standing among some unique plants, canoeing along real water, or even making their way through a windy sandstorm. Lego photography opens up an entirely new way to photograph landscapes that not a whole lot of people have seen before, which immediately captures people's attention, which leads me on to my next point. So Lego photography taps into the feeling of nostalgia because, like me, I grew up with the Lego sets, and it makes the images feel a lot more personal. If you can evoke a feeling through a photograph, you've basically already won. And because people instantly recognize Lego, it's really easy to use some iconic figures to evoke a story, which then leads onto a feeling for the person who's looking at your photographs. I mean, if you look at like Star Wars photos, Lord of the Rings photos. For me, I think of those films, and seeing the Lego version of that just it provokes a surge of like memories for me, like thinking of the time when I first saw the movies, seeing iconic characters like Gollum. If you can use unique and iconic characters like that, you have a high chance of creating some really cool photos that people can connect with. Now, I want you to think of your favorite movie scene, or I guess movie moment, and think about how you could recreate that with your nearest camera and some Lego minifigures. For me, that was the scene with R2-D2 driving along the sandy dunes of Tatooine in Star Wars Episode 4. And as a kid watching that on VHS for the very first time, it kind of burned into my brain basically. And it's like one of the little fragments of the movie that really stuck with me for years and years and years. And then eventually when I bought the Lego R2-D2 set, I took it out to a really sandy beach. It happened to be really, really windy that day, which created a really nice haze. I was able to somewhat recreate a scene that was kind of like special to me, you know? Special to my childhood. I mean, until you recreate a scene in Lego photography, there's no better feeling than being able to bring back an iconic moment. I truly think that Lego photography is the quickest and easiest way to create unique and captivating stories really, really easily. You can be as creative as you want and with little to no restrictions, just like the Lego brick itself. And from my experience, people love seeing Lego photography because it just sparks that nostalgia. For the next tip, we're moving on to how big stories can be made with just a few small Lego minifigures. Because Lego is so small, you really have unlimited spaces to shoot, and if you can experiment with a telephoto lens, I highly recommend that because it really makes the Lego figures look lifelike with the background, and that's why I'll tend to zoom in on my 28-70 to somewhat compress the background and make the figures look like they are part of the environment and they are lifelike. In other words, it kind of makes the background look to scale of the minifigures, because when you zoom in, you compress the background, it kind of swatches together like this. Swatches? I hope that makes sense. But if you don't own a telephoto lens, you can still create really captivating photos just using a wide lens or even just your phone. It can be as simple as Darth Vader and Luke fighting on a tree branch, an astronaut jumping on a new planet, or even two figures hiking up a mountain. The possibilities with Lego figures is practically endless, which is why it's so easy to create captivating Lego photos, because every Lego figure has their own story. All you have to do is look at that figure and just imagine what kind of story they hold. And also kind of picture how these Lego figures, if they were real people, where would they be situated? For example, I've put Gandalf in the snow many times before, and of course the astronaut in deep space. Just thinking about how the characters fit into the real world is the easiest way to think of stories. Now on to my last point is you can create breathtaking photographs with professional looking lighting, professional scenery, all in your garage, and not spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do so. If you were to attempt the scenes that I've done in real life, it would cost so much money. I've used my garage so many times for these kind of shoots, and they have always been so fun to photograph, because if it's something as simple as just grabbing a few tree branches and bark and a smoke machine to create these photos, to using a water tank and dropping an astronaut into it. It's just, you can create these really dramatic scenes and dioramas just using things around your area. Probably one of my cheapest examples was I used a wire and put an astronaut through it, had him like falling basically, and used probably $2 worth of bubble blowing mixture and created these surreal looking photographs. Why am I not in focus? If this isn't proof that Lego photography is endless, then I don't know what is, because I'm still here creating Lego photos after 5 years. I mean, each year I'm slowly getting better. You can literally be the same. You can create these captivating Lego photos so easily. I promise you that. Just take it to your next shoot. And if you do, send it my way and say that you watched this video and then you took photos after hearing about it, because I'd love to see what kind of stuff you guys create. I'd also love to know how many of you actually partake in Lego photography and how much of you don't, so feel free to leave a comment about that. But if you want to see more of my Lego photography, I'll leave a link down to my Instagram down below. Thank you for watching. I hope this convinced you to take part in Lego photography. There's not enough of you doing it, and I guess it's like an art form that I want to see more, you know, bring it into the mainstream a bit more. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.